Hi, welcome to Women in Community. This month we're talking about engaging with God, and I can't wait to hear what my friend Paula has to share.
I really love this topic of engaging with God
Yeah.
because that's really what it's all about, right? So, how do we engage with God when we can't see Him? The way we see each other, right? Or hear Him the way we hear each other, or feel Him.
Right.
How do we do that? Well, obviously, God gave us a way to connect with the world around us through our 5 physical senses. Well, we have spiritual senses as well, right? We connect with and understand the world around us with them, and they're really useful. They can keep us safe.
For sure.
I was thinking about a time when we lived in a duplex, and it was built on a hill, and there was a guy that had the apartment, if you will, underneath us.
Right.
So it wasn't a side-by-side duplex, it was this.
Yeah.
And our entry faced east and his faced west, so they were connected but separate. I came home one day and went around to get my baby out of the car, and I smelled something strange, like it was really unfamiliar. And I looked around and I saw smoke billowing out of what was his ceiling and our floor.
Oh my.
Thank God for those 5 physical senses.
Right.
But also for my connection with God, because I had been out that day. I ran into a friend, we were talking a while, and then she invited me to her house. I really wanted to go. But I got this, I should go home on the inside. It wasn't heavy, there was no sense of urgency. It was just, I think I should go home.
Like a prompting.
And I said that to her, like a prompting.
Yeah.
And I said that to her, and I went home and got out of the car, and there was the smoke.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so my 5 physical senses gave me the information that I needed
Right.
before my house burned down. I mean, his place was completely charred.
Oh,
Everything
my.
was black.
Oh,
It
wow.
was about to hit
That's hard to look at after
our
the point.
area. Oh, it was awful. And he had just moved in that day.
Oh.
And he was a good friend of ours. He lost everything.
Oh my.
But my connection to God gave me the direction that I needed. So Jesus said God is a spirit being, and we connect with Him through our spirit. Well, okay. He didn't really exactly say it that way. In John 4:24, Jesus said, God is spirit. They that worship Him or connect with Him
Right.
must worship Him in spirit and in truth. So He was talking to the Samaritan woman at the well, and the Samaritans believed that the place to worship God was on the mountain,
Right.
and that the Jews believed that it was in Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. Right.
Jesus said to her, the hour is coming, and even now is, when true worshipers will worship or connect with the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father is seeking such to worship Him. He was saying this engagement with God is not about the location, but it's now to take place in the heart.
Yeah.
And that was really different.
Very different.
It was all externals.
Right.
So He's a heart God. And because God is a spirit, I must connect with Him that way.
Right.
So Jesus also said that we worship or connect with God in truth as well. And this I thought was really, really cool. The note in my study Bible says true worship is not mere form and ceremony, see externals, but spiritual reality, which is in harmony with the nature of God, who is spirit and in truth. The Greek word for truth was really interesting because it's more about an attitude than a concept. Like a concept like God is love. That's a concept, right? But the word actually means, this particular word for truth means sincerity, genuine, transparent.
Wow.
So this connection with God is to be from your inner being, your heart, that is genuine, sincere, and transparent. And the Passion Translation, of course, brings that out, right? So I combined verses 21 and 24. Believe me, dear woman, the time has come when you will worship the Father, neither on a mountain nor in Jerusalem, but in your heart. From now on, worshiping the Father will not be a matter of the right place, but with a right heart. Wow.
Wow.
For God is a spirit, and he longs to have sincere worshipers who adore him in the realm of spirit and in truth, or who connect with him in the realm of spirit and truth. So I like to think of this as wholehearted. A wholehearted connection with the Father, Son, and Spirit. This is what Jesus is after, where we open our hearts completely, and like the song says, withholding nothing. How can we meet with God withholding nothing? That was the question I asked myself. And I thought, if we think God is waiting to punish us or needs to be appeased, that is to make him happy, then we have a hard time trusting him.
Yeah.
How can we be wholehearted when we can't trust him?
Right.
And so Jesus took on himself the full wrath of God for all our sin, for all time. He is not mad at you. And you don't have to do anything to prove yourself to him.
That's right.
So the verse, perfect love casts out fear, addresses this. Because when we're convinced in our heart that we are as fully loved as Jesus is, then we won't fear reprisal or punishment or even condemnation from God. We can just come and engage with him.
Right.
Freely, with such trust, that we can experience his love for us, and in a genuine way.
Right.
Because we are perfectly safe with him.
Right.
So are you safe with him? Do you feel safe with God? Knowing that you are fully received and always welcome no matter what? Do you approach your time with him with apprehension or doubt? Wondering if he will meet you right where you're at?
Right.
Oh, this is real.
It is.
Do you think he's waiting to come down hard on you for things that you think or believe, or your failures, or your attitudes? The attitude you bring with you when you meet him matters. Because Jesus said God is seeking people who will connect with him with their whole heart.
Right.
So do you just sometimes sit and feel his presence and his great love for you, experiencing him? When I do, I feel like in him and with him, I am completely loved. And that I can completely approach him without any sense of hesitation. He's waiting for you,
Right.
So what I do is I just kind of sit and thank him. Sometimes I pray in the Spirit a bit, but I just intentionally kind of calm myself and slow everything down so that I can connect with my heart,
Right.
which is where I go to meet with him, right?
Yeah.
So I think that he wants to simply be enjoyed, like he simply enjoys us.
Yeah.
And so I don't bring anything to him in those moments. I just come with my heart open.
Right.
And so I think in these encounters, when you trust him with your whole heart, he will just lovingly engage with your heart and not trample on it. He can be trusted.
Right, for sure.
So I want to encourage you to find a time of day that works for you. Bring yourself to a place of peace. I do it with deep breathing exercises where I will calm down and settle in. And I can actually kind of feel my brain waves slow.
Right.
I take a deep breath, and as I exhale, in my mind, I say 3, 2, 1, relax. And then I do it again. And I do it again. And there are days I have to do it again. And that's okay, because every time you do that, you begin to feel yourself connect with your heart. And then what you do is you invite him in. Invite him into this beautiful space you imagine meeting him in. And just be with him and allow him that space with you. Make this a habit of your life. You will begin to feel centered and at peace, and you'll enjoy this wholehearted connection with him. He is waiting for you.